Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Driver's Garage. Here's an update on the bodywork going on my 65 Impala Super Sport. Check it out. Alright, so I'm gonna show you what's been happening with the Impala. You can see the body is in here. They just primed it yesterday. So this is a Saturday. They primed it Friday right before we all went home for the weekend. As you can see, it's still all masked off. What we ended up doing is after replacing the quarter panels, the quarter panels got body worked, and the roof got a little body work, though it was pretty much straight. There wasn't much in it. There's a couple of dings in it. And they body worked around the trunk area, the top of the quarters, the filler panel. I have to ask you guys, do you guys call that the trunk filler panel or Dutchman panel? Because I've heard it called both. I have never heard of a Dutchman panel before. And then the other quarter panel has all been body worked. And then obviously the roof and C-pillars. I didn't remove the factory lead out of here. We left it in because it's in such nice shape. And as you can see, it covered really, really nice. You can't even tell where it was at. My co-workers Scott Brevard and Mason Neubauer did all the body work on the quarters for me. And we also obviously did the rockers too. So those are all shot. And part of the door jamb was done, but not all the way in. I'm not going to pull this all out because we're going to have to do it. So what we need to do still is we need to paint this panel here. All right, this is basically part of your garnish molding on the inside of your back window, and that has to be painted before you put the back window. It's very hard to paint otherwise. And then we're going to paint the top of the dash, which they didn't do this time because of the masking was such a pain in the butt. But I can't tell you how happy I am about the way this looks now. You can see here's I moved the antenna to the rear. There's the rear hole for it. And they did the door jambs on this side as well. Oops, it's pulling the tape. Sorry. But they did the door jamb up until the body line here, and then it's still like Evening Orchid and stuff. I have not touched the doors yet, or the interior or underneath the floors, or any of that stuff, or the header radiator support is still there. Those headlight buckets are just kind of dangling there in space because they bolt to the header panel, which I took off. And as you can see, the engine's still in it. It's still a running, driving vehicle, though you wouldn't want to drive it down the road, but it does make it easier to move around in the shop when it runs and drives. So this is where we're at with it now. And once we paint the dash and the back piece back there, I am going to take the car home. Oh yeah, we're gonna put I'm gonna get some help putting the trunk lid on, and then I'm gonna get help putting the windshield and the back glass in. We're gonna put the little clips in for the windshield trim all the way around. I brought the trim in so they could get these corners right. I found the rear window trim, which hasn't been on the car since it blew off at a car wash in 1999, right after I moved to Los Angeles. I found that and brought that in. And it's looking really good. I am so happy. Oh, wow. I can't tell you when I'm looking at this quarter panel and it doesn't have an old wreck with an old repair over the top of that, with the Bondo and filler and all the other stuff falling off of it and rusting behind it. After 29 years of having to look at that, this makes me so happy. And I can't tell you how happy I am. So what are we going to do from this point on? Well, I'm taking the car home, and I'm going to probably reassemble it and drive it for a bit for the summer. And then what it needs, what's the next step for the body work is this state. This is, underneath this is 3 coats of epoxy primer. And this is what they call feather fill, which is a primer you start sanding on. So we'll block sand the feather fill, and then we'll reshoot it with typical urethane primer, and then we'll block and guide coat it, put a guide coat on it, and block sand it again. And if it looks good, we can paint from there. Oh, well, no, sorry. We have to do a wet sand at 500 grit, and then we can paint from there. Or if it's not good, we need to do another blocking, we'll do that. So basically what I have left is block sanding and wet sanding, and then I'm ready to shoot the car. Unfortunately, my budget was like blown up a little bit doing all this extra work, so that's not going to happen right now. I may take it over to my friend's shop and do some of that this coming winter of 2026, and get that done and make it ready to actually paint. And then, I don't know. I'd still like to do, the body has not been off the frame. I want the body off the frame. I want to detail the underside of the body. I want to blast and paint the interior, even though the floors are pretty damn good. The trunks doesn't really need anything. But I want to do the chassis. I really don't like the chassis anymore. It's untouched. I mean, I've rebuilt all the suspension like at least twice over 30 years. It's got different things on it over the years. Doors haven't been touched yet. See, as you can see, the doors still have the door panels on them, right? See? So I want to do that. I didn't want to pull them off. And so what I'm going to do probably this fall when I stop driving is I'm going to pull the doors off, gut them, pull the glass out of them, strip them, and sandblast the jam areas, and then body work them both, and get them to the same point as this, where they're in feather fill and they're ready to be block sanded. And then I'll probably do that, and I also want to do that to the hood. So hang on a second. So here's the hood. As you can see, it's still untouched. So I'm gonna strip the hood, but I want to do work underneath the hood for around the bracing for these, so they're fully functional. Or I could put a panel in here and cut and block them off, but I want to be able to do that. And then I'm going to strip it and do the same thing, body work it, epoxy fill it, epoxy primer it, and then feather fill it for final block sanding. The fenders I'm taking home right now just to get them out of here. They're all done. They're at the same deal. They're in the feather fill stage. So is the header panel and the cowl panel. So I'm taking these home. I'm gonna put them in storage for right now. As you can see, my new windshield is up there on top of the storage, and my original back glass is up there. The back glass weighs 3 times as much as that new windshield does. But the windshield was broke. It has been for 25 years. Here's the trunk lid. She's in feather fill, ready for block sanding as well. I'm gonna put that on before I take the car. Well, we got it home today. We got the windshield in. It's a brand new windshield. I can't tell you how much different it is to look through a windshield that's brand new after 30 years of driving with the original one. I mean, my old one wasn't bad. I mean, but it's like when you're driving, you can't even tell you're looking through a windshield until you see the big tint on the top, I guess. But, yep, I drove it home from the body shop just like this. Yeah, the headlights were kind of just flopping around. The grill was flopping around. I kind of wedged the horns in here between the grill and the radiator supports so it wouldn't hit my radiator. We also got the back glass in. The trim, you have to put the trim on if you're using windshield urethane to push the windshield down and so it's tight enough so you know you're going to have it. That trim blew off at a car wash in Santa Monica, California in 1999. I've been carrying it around for 27 years. But I somehow have lost the top piece. For the last 20 years, I thought it was only 4 pieces. But 5 or 6 moves and going across the country, I lost one of the pieces. They need to be replaced anyways. They're not that great. But it helped me. It was enough of them to push the glass down and hold the glass in correctly for the urethane that we're using. You can see all new clips and stainless screws. These are screwed in. They were originally. And then on the front windshield, we have the old trim back on, and it's not the greatest either, but it'll do for right now. I do have the lower piece over here in the pile, but there's no point in putting that on yet. And then, yeah, the trunk lid was being, we used a bungee cord to hold the trunk lid down because I took the latch out of it when we did the bottom side of the trunk. So, she's all here, and the weather's starting to get nice, and I can start working on my car and put it all back together. As you can see, it's gutted. We did paint the dashboard top, and we painted the this piece here, which acts as a garnish molding as well as the glass channel. That's all done, and I'm very, very happy. So what's next? Well, I got all this stuff here on the floor that I got to put back on the car, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewire it. I have American Auto Wire classic updates kit, because I'm going to put fuel injection on it, and I want something more modern than the original wiring harness on it. So that is next. And let's face it, it's going to be a lot easier to rewire the car with nothing in the way, except maybe the engine. But as you can see here, I can sit right on top of my tire and work right back here, and work and get it all done. I'm going to make some changes to the wiring. That's because I'm anal like that. And I may or may not rewire the stereo. As you can see, all the stereo wiring up in there. There's a subwoofer. There's a subwoofer, and the subwoofer's on the floor around here somewhere. Oh, there it is, underneath all the trim. And it's so much easier to do it now. So as you can see, the dash is gutted. Yes, I drove it here with no speedometer, no or any other gauges. Those gauges over there on the above the console work, but no speedo. Not that it really worked that great to begin with, and and no side windows. Thankfully, it was like 45 degrees out today, not 45 below zero, which is known to happen in Nebraska. So, one other thing I did is this. I got this out of a salvage yard, and I taped and repainted it. I polished the plastic lens, because uncut dash, the lens isn't cracked. That is all original 1965 dashboard and gauge cluster bezel, I guess you would call it. They do not sell these new. You can get the lens for like $120, but they do not sell those. And what people are asking on eBay, oh my goodness. So it was worth the effort. I still have the old one that had the cut out for a regular like CD style radio, and I'm thinking about putting in this 8-track player Motorola AM 8-track that I got that actually works. It's got a new belt in it. Put it in the hole, and then I'll use a smaller radio to hide someplace else for what I got from my speakers and stuff. I also have this. This is the original AM radio that came out of this gauge cluster. And as you can see, I took the back of it off because I only wanted it to fill the hole. And I might even put a light in there. And reason being is that I just wanted to fill the hole. And it's in really good shape. Look at it. It's really nice. And so I might do that. I don't know yet. I do have a fully functioning 8-track with 8-track tapes. Let me show you that. Let me tell you, trying to find rock tapes in Nebraska. Look at this collection here. Highway to Hell, Styx, Fleetwood Mac, The Doors, Eagles, Queen. Yes, if you don't know what those bands are, you're an uncultured cretin and you need to broaden your horizons. If I sound like a happy man, it's because I am. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you for following along. If you like these kind of videos, if you have any questions, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I answer questions I answer almost all the questions that make some sense. So, thank you for following along.